What's going on, everyone? We are looking at a bit of a mixed day here in the market. If you're watching small caps like I am, they are quite down. But generally speaking, across TradingView, we've got some red, we've got some green, but overall we do have a little bit of fear in the market. I wanted to go over a couple of things. I'm going to show you something going on the SPY on the chart that you need to watch out for. Show you what Bitcoin's been doing, and we do have the Fed minutes coming out here in a little bit. We're going to see what their tone is like, whether it's hawkish or dovish. I'll briefly go into that, and I'll post periodic updates on my Discord regarding that, so check that out if you're interested. And another thing we have coming up here is PCE, and this comes out in 2 days, February 24th. And I did want to quickly tell you guys that I will be covering Matterport's earnings. It is coming out after hours here today, so stick around if you're interested in that. But I will leave this down below for you. It kind of goes over what to expect for the Fed meeting minutes. While the minutes are of course outdated because this is based on the previous Fed meeting, but it's going to give us kind of their general tone. It might give us a kind of glimpse into where their heads are at in terms of future rates, whether we're going to get actually more rate hikes than just the few expected, whether we're going to get a 50 basis point hike instead of just 25s like we've been seeing. And futures markets have been pricing in higher rate hikes. There is now this expectation that we might actually see 50 basis point hikes. And part of that is because of other Fed members that actually don't even have a vote, just kind of giving a hawkish stance, bringing fear that maybe some of these other Fed members that actually have an impact on the vote could be a little more hawkish and go for a 50 basis point hike. But you're going to want to watch out for a PCE coming up here because the Fed will be closely watching that as well. And if that comes out looking not that great, then of course we can definitely see a more hawkish Fed. And I did want to show you the changes in PCE lately. It definitely to me looks a lot better than CPI at least. You'll see that we've had a consistent drop month over month. And this is going over what the yearly numbers are. But you can see that each update we get, PCE continues to come down. We're going to need to see hopefully under 5% finally. That would be good to see that. And it would kind of give a relief to the market as long as we don't see a higher PCE than what we've been seeing. We need to see them continue to cool down, and you're going to want to look out for February 24 because that is when it's coming out. Now, I did want to briefly switch things up and bring up Bitcoin, and then we're going to look at the SPY because there is something important happening there as well. But you'll notice with Bitcoin that we are approaching what I see as the next level of support. Watch and see how we do here at this $23,400 area. But you know, we just kept getting rejected. We just couldn't break out of this 25.3. And you'll see that we definitely tried, but we just weren't able to break this previous peak here that was established in August. And now we are definitely cooling down here, retesting some levels. So see how we, hold up right here. If we do break, we're coming down likely towards this 22,500 area next. But one thing you'll notice here on the 1 hour chart is we are approaching oversold on the RSI, so see how we do there, see if it's quickly bought up, indicating that there's still some buyers here at every pullback. Now as you zoom out to larger time frames, we definitely still have some room to fall here. This is the 4 hour. We are approaching oversold on the 4 hour, but not there yet. We can definitely come back, and by the time this 4 hour looks like it's right about at oversold, we will be likely right here at this support level, and we'll have to see if we can actually bounce and maintain it, or if we're going to fail and, come to some lower levels. But I personally took this as an opportunity to add to my Bitcoin, but we'll see how that goes. I personally am very confident in Bitcoin here. Of course, we can come down and test 20,000 in my opinion. But regardless, I'm not scared to add at these prices because I do believe this is still very cheap when you're looking out into the year 2024 and 2025. Now, I did want to mention the SPY very briefly, and then I'm going to wrap this up. But you'll see that, for a very brief period, we did break out of this long downtrend that was established since 2021. And it has now been a little over a full year that it's just been in this long-term downtrend. And I did want to zoom in a little better and just show you kind of the price action and what happened here. We did have this breakout. Things were kind of looking good. We retested it, confirmed it, and, kept pushing back up. But we couldn't break out of this previous peak here. And now we're back stuck in this, long downtrend that we were in. This could be our next wave down. Of course, it depends on what the PCE gives us and what the meeting minutes, tells us about the Fed. But this could very well be our next leg down, our next kind of wave down after we had this nice little run up. So you're going to really want to watch the SPY. It did just break 400 and, this next downtrend may be just the beginning here. So keep an eye on all these economic factors. See how PCE does. Maybe that gives us a reason to break back out of this on the SPY. Maybe the Fed minutes gives us a gleam of hope, but one thing's for certain is we are through the majority of the rate hikes, and at some point the Fed will settle down. Of course, course, we could be a few rate hikes away from that, but you know, you always got to be able to look out a little bit longer term. And I think any more hard pullback on the SPY would be a fantastic time to get into the SPY, get into some of these indexes. But how are you feeling about the market lately? We've definitely been seeing the last couple of days of red, and I've personally been taking that as an opportunity to buy some of my favorite long-term stocks. But the rest of this week should be quite interesting, and we'll see how things go from here. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.